Yeah, if they could catch anybody with the X marks the spot, it would be massive. But sadly, all of Geek fam do manage to retreat once again. Something about their shot calling, really smart whenever it comes to retreating.
Yeah.
It's always very clean.
Yes, I think so too. They're okay with giving up heroes, and I think that is a big criticism that I had for them actually the other day, and a big criticism I have for a lot of C teams. Like C teams, they must all just be like brothers or something, you know, because for whatever reason they just refuse to let each other die. It's it's lovely, but in Dota you gotta be willing to just say see ya.
You got a no man left behind.
Yeah, in Southeast Asia, it's almost like, the pub scene can be so toxic, so they're like, you know what, we're on team together, we'll change that. We'll work together at all times. So you just see dudes, like, go in, even in unsavable situations, and I think Geek Fam is very good about just cutting their losses.
I think you're onto something there. With the, that's a hook shot that's going to be able to find Kez Cute, thanks to the illusions that Cuckoo had placed out, given in the vision, but Boom quickly turned things around. You cannot play this way anymore if you're Geek Fam. You're far enough ahead that it's not worth it to get these trade-off kills.
No, not at all. And what were you going to say?
That the pub games, they're toxic enough. Because, that's a really great way to build camaraderie, is if you just go through hell together.
Yeah. And then, you know what you say? You want to play with your team over playing pubs at that point. Because you're like, dude, my pubs suck.
Okay.
Then you're excited to play with your team.
So why does NA have a terrible competitive scene?
Just probably not enough things
because we have terrible pubs.
Yeah, it's probably just not enough things to play, if I'm honest. Like C
Fair.
still has these like random cups. Like you have like these ESL India cups, ESL like cups, like these random Mineski events and stuff. They're like still tournament organizers that are like putting stuff together, and that's like what you need to foster a scene, right? No matter. That's why like the NBA D League matters so much. Oh, hold that thought.
They do manage to get jump, but just like the last 2 times they've tried it, this third one is not going to go any better. They jump in, they get a kill on a hero like Ancient Apparition, which they easily can burst, but the trade-off's not really worth it. But the team fight might be, especially if they can kill FBC, but it gets over to the other side of the cliff. He's going to be fine, though a little worse for wear, thanks to the health not going off. The X is going to pull back Carl. Raven does protect him with the Wukong's command. A shot comes out from the Morphling, revealing that E-Blade that he now has, but it certainly was not enough to get the kill on a Cuckoo.
They knew about it beforehand. The tiny got E-Blade comboed.
Yeah, that's true.
He got blown up. Surprised he didn't commit the SF ult. Maybe he just thought he wasn't close enough and it wouldn't lead to the kill on that Timber. I think there was like if you asked me for a hard number, I'd say like 20% chance that could have worked.
Yeah, I mean, they had Spirit Vessel on him.
Yeah.
Any disable, I think, could have done the trick.
Because then they would have jumped him into the wall and maybe to get the kill.
Yeah.
As they're looking for an opportunity, but I think Zephyr is not respecting his life enough.
Yes.
I think I would prefer the clock jumping in and Zephyr, because I think once clock goes in once or twice, he's dead, like off of the first hook shot. As we're gonna see the odds, Geek Fam is, I think those are a little bit skewed.
Yeah, because they're only up by 3K right now.
Yeah, I think it's closer. It said like 1 to 5, right? I think it's probably closer to like 1 to 4.
Dreamocell's done an admirable job of catching back up.
Yeah.
He's almost tied with the Monkey King now. And Makoto, who's been focused a lot on farming and not so much on going for these pickoffs, he's also done an okay job catching up. So
yeah, and if you have damage issues on the side of Geek Fam, which I do think they have, there's a lot of mitigation on the side of Boom.
Yeah. You no longer have damage. So you said Boom has damage issues, but now that the Morphling is online, in a way, right? Those damage issues have kind of gone away.
Yeah, that's why both teams, if you notice when they have these skirmishes, like in a lot of, if you don't have damage problems, a lot of people die.
Yes. Instead, it's a 1-for-1
yeah,
trade.
so it's like a
time.
1-for-1, like a support dies for support, and then everybody else lives.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think that benefits. Radiant. But I don't know. This morph's getting kind of big, Cap, and
yeah, they just got a tier 2 as well. But the trade-off is Roshan.
This is a very good Rosh for them to take.
Yeah, the Ice Blast was used to scout out bottom.
All right, I'm calling it. I think Geek Fam are losing this game.
Okay, even as they claim the Aegis and a BKB is picked up for Raven.
Oh, I lied. He
Blitz
got
has
BKB.
said-
Swerve. Remix.
He did not go Echo Saber. He rushed Defusal, which I liked, and then I thought maybe he would go back for Echo Saber, but he said, no, I'm going to, I know that we're really strong right now. If I just get the team fight winning item in BKB, we can run at them.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Okay, let me explain why I think Geek Fam are going to lose. Because I think their initiation is not my favorite. Whereas, like, Boom gets to sit back. I think X is so good. Like, X marks the spot as an ability.
Yeah, that's
it's
a
like
broken ability.
It's
for
a
sure.
free initiation. Like, whenever Geek Fam has to initiate, they have to, like, throw their bodies in and potentially die for it. And Boom does not have that issue, I would say. So, like, watch this.
Their
This
smoke
Tiny is
breaks,
dead.
and they are just going to force the issue here. Now, Raven jumps to the back line, does manage to execute Kezku very quickly. Makoto has the Spirit Vessel on him and won't be able to protect himself from this Cogs combination with the SF Ultimate. The boat actually does a decent job of mitigating the damage. Can he actually get out of all this? He's so damn tanky, but Raven's going to catch up to him eventually, and that should do the trick. Now, Kezku, who bought back for all of this, about in the strike as Dreamocell shows up to the fight. That was beautiful. Turns into the Monkey King and uses the Boundless Strike against him. And just like that, Blitz, your prediction could be right here, as they're just going to be able to get the kill on Cuckoo as well. 19-8, and a score that was once 14-1. That gold lead that Geek Fam had has now dwindled to only 2,000.
Yeah. So you saw what I meant right there, right? Almost immediately. Whenever they have to initiate, somebody dies for it. That's not an ideal... and it's because they have damage issues, so somebody has to go in, but it's not that favorable, as Shadow Fiend's going to not have ulti. He might just do a hit just to hit him, but I think Hyde should be fine. Whereas, like, for Boom, they get to just chill. Boom ID can just wait back. Like, you see, the Tiny had already... You missed it, but the Tiny already died. Wait, this
This
plays
is
ult.
the fear that he doesn't use.
Yeah, this plays ult, but you saw right there, like, Tiny goes in, dies. Maybe they get a kill, but then X Torrent is still, like, it's just better initiation. Because Geek Fam's lineup relies on, like, hard initiating. And they don't have these escape abilities like they did in their previous game. Like, when this SF goes in, like, he's hard committed. When Monkey goes in, there's no out for him. And I think that actually benefits Boom ID's lineup more than it does Geek Fam's. And I don't know what damage item they go at this point to, like, kind of offset that. Like, I don't think there is one, is what I'm saying.
Is part of that the fact that Boom also outscales them? So in a way, because you have to trade to initiate fights and because you have to fully commit, one bad fight, and, like, all of a sudden the Morphling starts becoming a bigger and bigger problem, and he takes over the game.
I think Dreamocell is actually playing this really well. He's chilling back. He's not allowing himself to get jumped on by the Clock Tiny. And again, if your initiation is all coming from the Clock Tiny, and like, you can Spirit Vessel him, but if you don't have the follow-up damage from the SF and the Monkey, he's probably just going to walk away.
Yeah.
And he resets the fight. And now he's got Manta, so that's even harder. So your primary initiator that carries around the Spirit Vessel will just die, and then he's not going to be able to get the second charge off onto the Monkey King, or onto the Morphling. That's a real big problem.
And Geek Fam, they're smart enough to be able to read this game, even though they don't have all the metrics that we do. They're good enough at the game to know that they're probably in a bit of trouble. They need to keep up the pace.
Yeah, even though they're ahead in gold, they probably don't feel that way in game. Because you go by the latest fight, and the latest fight metrics say they're not winning team fights.
Yeah, when you look at any lineup that has a better hard carry, and then you've lost the last team fight, there's always that feel they're losing to more. Okay, Raven does manage to get down to the right-hand side. Cuckoo makes his initiation and quickly kills the Ancient Apparition. Really important part of the team fight, especially since he hasn't died just yet. But between the Rolling Thunder and the Timbersaw cutting him down, Cuckoo becomes rather squishy. Now Zephyr has been caught inside the river. It looks like he may be dying as well, but this Chain Frost is doing a lot of damage. Not enough for Carl to feel confident enough to force this. He's going to be caught by the X, but Raven is going to protect him with the Cuckoo. He does manage to get the Boundless Strike, hitting onto 3. The Wukong's command doesn't do enough damage, though, onto Makoto. He pops the BKB and walks away.
Yep, that further proves the point that without their initiators, like, their lineup's nothing, and their initiators don't survive. Like, you see the Tiny goes in, any single time he goes in, he just dies. So what needs to happen, Cap, is I actually think it's complicated because you need the Tiny in fights because he's more stuns than the Clockwork is, simply put.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to get his combo off like 3 times for them to be able to win a fight. But with that being said, I also think the Clockwork, you need him for the Spirit Vessel, otherwise you can't kill Kunkka and
Hide. 1-2 raise combo. Doesn't catch him.
oh, I think he actually might have hit that, but
Yeah, he hit the second raise, but not enough to kill.
no. So yeah, I think Geek Fam might lose this game.
Is there an item that they can get? Because it seems like control's an issue.
Yes,
Can
controls.
anybody get an item that helps with that?
So the reason why I think the game's really hard is because when you have 2 issues at once, then the game becomes complicated. Normally, if it's like simply they need a hex, okay, straightforward, like get a hex then. But it feels like they lack damage and they lack initiation, which I don't know how both of their cores solve for that problem. I guess you could go Abyssal on Monkey King.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or, as you said, the scythe pickup for Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, it would have to be like that for this to work out at this point. Like, I think Shadow Fiend...
Oh, no, he doesn't have any disable. He has to watch 3 people TP away from him.
Yeah, it is a problem. It is a big problem. And you can see that Raven's going for an SNY, but I actually think he needs an Abyssal.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the boat is the best when you don't have any instant burst abilities. And the only instant burst they have is like the Shadow Fiend walking melee range and popping his ulti on somebody. Right? So boat, at this point, it means that all your cores will get BKB or their spells off. And that's a pretty big advantage in a game like this, I would say.
Well, Carl is still swaggering around like he doesn't care about anybody.
He's got BKB.
He just walks with confidence everywhere he goes, and he's going to be able to take that tier 2 top as a result.
They don't have TP cancels on the side of Boom yet.
Yeah. Is there a point that SF can get to where he outcarries Morphling? Like just a raw, like dataless MKB right-clicking build?
I'm trying to think about like what he has already versus like what the Morph has, and I don't think so. Because it's not that easy, right? It's, again, I think their core matchups are okay-ish. I think it has more to do with like what heroes I see on the other side of things.
Right.
Oh, he's not going to pick up the DD.
Yeah, that's a problem, because now Makoto, he'll
Cuckoo,
take that
he's
DD
dead.
and turn that damage around on Cuckoo, but he does manage to get a hook shot onto his ally, but FBC is still trying to hunt him down here. If he gets close enough, the Yules will spell the death to Cuckoo. Just slides past him, though, the Glimmer Cape, helping to protect him. Now, FBC, he's gone way too far. He does manage to Yule's Timber Chain himself out of there, though. Oh, Kesku, he gets him a 4-staff. There is the Chain Frost, the Essence Ring going off. FBC, Timber Chain to the other side of the cliff, and he's okay.
Damage initiation issues.
Zephyr comes out, Avalanche, and self-Yules. Didn't mean to do that one.
All right, so if you can't kill the Timber when he's Spirit Vesseled into your like tier 2 tower with 5 heroes surrounding him,
Yeah.
then you probably are going to have a somewhat rough time winning this game.
Yeah. Are we in a desperate enough situation, like Divine Rapier SF? Go.
When's the next Aegis coming up? I could see that actually being potential way.
Yeah, like just do it Medusa style. We get the next Roshan, we get that Aegis, get a Divine.
Yeah, the only scary part is SF is no
Ooh.
Dusa.
Yeah.
But what talents did he go, by the way, on Shadow Fiend? Can we hover over that, David?
He went the damage per soul.
Okay.
So that's where I was asking, like a right-click kind of
I
build.
could see that work. Potentially.
Lead off with the Torrent. That is one way to get it disabled through the BKB,
force the BKB?
but he is going to hold on to it as long as possible because he does have the Silver Edge coming up. Do they have any vision? They have a Sentry. They're going to lay it out now. Carl, he runs away for that Sentry. They do manage to land the Torrent, but they don't see him. He's still scared enough. He's going to pop the BKB, teleport away, and that Ice Blast will not kill him.
If he got hit like 2 more times, I could see him dying there. Oh, that was scary. I bet that was like a...
Yeah.
If the Morph was there hitting on him, he would have died. Okay, so this Roshan is massive for Geek Fam. I think. So they have actually grown their lead.
Yeah.
During that time, and that's just because their supports are so damn poor. But I think if they get this Aegis, this game's pretty easy for Boom. Like, Dream should be able to carry from this position with an Aegis.
Zephyr, it's a good time to go in. Roshan's getting very low. Can he get in there just the right moment? He jumps instead onto the Pangolier just outside of the pit, and Raven makes his introduction to a team fight with the BKB, but he's quickly finding that the damage from Dream of Cell is too much. He stays inside the Wukong's command, now breaks it as he needs to be able to jump away to the trees, but FPC is right there. Oh, he cut down the trees, but he didn't quite get the one tree that he was standing on. Still, though, they catch him with the Eul's Scepter, and Raven will fall. Next up, Cuckoo, caught by the slow of that lucky shot. Zephyr goes back into the initiation and kills Hyde. Very nicely placed Avalanche, stunning 3. The torrent onto Carl. He still has his BKB and Dream of Cells rather low. With a Spirit Vessel on him, he pops a Manta to remove it. He's going to be good for now. Carl,
he's going to use his cheese so they can continue to fight. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Not worth it. Not worth it, right?
Yeah, you're going to heal. Please don't do that.
You have Paladin Sword, so you've got lifesteal.
Yeah.
Take a look at the replay of that team fight. It was a perfect time for Zephyr to jump in if he went into the pit. But sadly, he was just trying to find the fast kill onto the Pango.
You can see Raven right now. Like, you just kind of gets hit. He's going Deso, but again, oh, look at that. One tree. Didn't end up mattering, but it's the classic problem of I need to build 2 things at once.
Yeah.
To be able to win. It's like he needs the Deso for damage. He's prioritizing the damage over the disable problem that we talked about.
Oh, they actually spotted Zephyr, but not before Kezcute is killed. Now they're going to be able to get the X on Zephyr. He's going to be pulled back to his
This has
doom.
been like the trade
Yeah.
every single time in this game, by the way.
Dude, Kezcute has been spending his half of his game sitting back in his chair, hands off his keyboard and mouse, and just saying, worth.
Yeah. Kezcute dies. Either Cuckoo or Zephyr dies. And he's just like, all right, well, that's my life.
Like, I'd be laughing so hard here. I was like, I've got a 4-staff. I don't even have upgraded boots. Like, why do you guys care?
Meanwhile, they need the Tiny. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
I actually think Zephyr is the make or break hero for them, which is not good, let me say.
And what's funny is, like, in the downtimes, Geek Fam have grown their lead. Which really says to me, like, if they hadn't been going for these kills, they could have just grown, like, a 15K gold lead, second Roshan. And with that, maybe they could take to this Morphling. But sadly, only up by 2,000 net worth, and their base is being assaulted.
Currently, problem after problem after problem. Like, Dream just gets to sit back and play this Morphling, and he doesn't care, because neither of the cores pressure him. And that's really what it comes down to, Cap. When you think about, like, late game situations, is like, how do the cores match up? More than, like, who is the better late game? It's like, can one core lay out damage easier than another? Do they have disables for each other? Like, Morph hates it when he has these, like, troll-like cores that can just keep hitting him and get on top of him when he commits himself. And Monkey King is kind of that, but I don't know if his item build really allows for that, if I'm honest.
24-12. Even though they've got double the kills, as Splits is pointing out, they will be having some issues as this game continues to progress into the later edges. We have the Butterfly coming up next for this Morphling with level 25 on its way. What's Makoto got? He has Silver Edge now. He's just a big tanky boy. Does a moderate amount of physical damage. But he's just there to do just this. Push in the lane, try and make himself a target. An open space for Hyde, Dream of Cell, and Kezcute to follow up. Let's counter initiation. Nobody chooses to initiate on Makoto, so Dream of Cell reveals himself now to start banging on the tier 3. Telling Geek Fam, the time is now. We're not going to wait any longer. We still have that Aegis, and we're going to make use of it. The toss back actually hits the illusion. Would have been a good idea, but sadly, execution not quite on point. Lost the 50-50. Now the hook shot blocked by Carl.
That's one of their 2 initiations. Oh, no. When you're denying racks, you know life's hard.
Yeah. At this point, it really looks like Geek Fam, they feel like they can't take the straight 5-on-5, especially against the Sages, so they're waiting for a screw-up.
If you look at the gold and you didn't look at the heroes, you'd be like, oh, 1K lead, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But the problem is they were winning fights when they were down 5K. And Morph just picked up one of the best Morphling items in the game. I don't believe there is an MKB or a Rapier on either of them.
You see that win probability, by the way? It's like this net worth has changed maybe like 4K or something, but you could see the win probability has just steadily gone down.
Honestly, Dota Plus is just they're bandwagoning off what I said.
True.
It's kind of messed up, to be honest.
Oh, Carl forced to use his Satanic to heal up. The Ice Blast does hit him, and he escapes away with that Silver Edge. He's so damn fast. Almost goes max movement speed with it.
All stats things just rip me off, you know?
Yeah. There's nobody else who could possibly have the insight that Blitz Dota does.
I'm such an idiot. I'm so stupid.
Desolator is complete for the Monkey King. I mean, if they get to level 25, that is another really big upgrade for Monkey King. Because like a lot of the problem has been they've just been walking out.
Yeah.
So if he can actually get to the additional
you know what you
command
actually
ring.
do to win this game? If you go 2 Rapiers on this Monkey King and he plays from the trees and he gets the Boundless Strike crit.
He just Boundless Strike crits people all day.
He didn't get it? He messed up. Then you just play
damage.
I had somebody do that and they played it like a sniper.
Every 22 seconds he can do something.
But what could they do against that? Oh, well, they're going to try to kill him.
FBC,
hero again.
Ice Blast is coming in. They're going to try and surround him as best as possible. FBC, they're throwing every single ability that they have, and they do got him. He's already dead. Dream Cell jumps to the back line, but doesn't actually kill Whitemon here. His combination wasn't quite enough. Now he's been Spirit Vesseled. He does have cheese as well as Manta. Removes the Spirit Vessel, does manage to eat the cheese, and Wavefords out of the cogs. He's going to be good for now, but they've still lost their Timber Saw, and Geek Fam, they're itching for more. They want to be able to take more team fights.
Okay.
Sadly, their initiation from Zephyr, not up until just now. They're going to be able to get the Yule Scepter onto the Ancient Apparition and toss back onto Makoto. That's really big. He pops the BKB, decides it's time to just TP away. No, he cancels it, walks out. Geek Fam, they can do this again. They can keep running this back all day. Zephyr is going to be able to get the Avalanche. Spirit Vessel onto Makoto, toss him back once again. The Ice Blast is coming in. Zephyr is going to die for this, but Makoto has been caught, wrangled in. The 2 cores dead from Boom, and let's add a support on top of that.
That's a gem too.
The additional Jubilee Cherry on top. A gem for that Ancient Apparition kill. Yes, please. 1 for 3.
Oh, man. Okay, so 2 things to point out there. One, we talked about how Tiny needs to get multiple initiations off. They cannot win with Zephyr just going in and dying.
Yes.
But you saw right there, he was able to get toss combo like 4 times off. And secondly, I thought the only reason FBZ played like that was because he had cheese.
Oh yeah, he was real.
I am very surprised that he was not the cheese carrier. In fact, they gave it to the Morph, who I don't think is at any risk of dying if he doesn't like mess up terribly.
Let's see that fight again. I mean, that Timber Saw was diving in so aggressively. This latter end of it, them being able to catch. I mean, if Makoto just BKB completed his TP,
he was gone, and
just trust that his allies would get out, they'd be fine.
Somebody must have made the call, or he made the call. A call was made that we can stay and fight. It's 4-on-4.
Like maybe it was the gem on KezQ. Maybe that was part of the reason they really didn't want to just give up numbers.
Oh man.
Oh dear, that's gonna be problematic. Geek Fam revitalized in this game. Now back at the helm.
Like they're in a point where SF feels like he has to go Rapier to win this game, and now he's probably considering his options.
I mean, that like he can still go Rapier, but he's in a. It's not a desperate Rapier.
Yeah.
Right. It's a let's take Aegis and get a Rapier, and go go go.
I think Morphling not getting BKB is also kind of game throw, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Manta, you can't just only rely on Manta.
I really don't like this Satanic choice. I would, if he had BKB, he would truly be unkillable, and no one could fight him. Satanic feels like he's going like a third right-clicky defensive-ish item as they're going to jump in. All right, Tiny has to stay alive here. Zephyr's actually the most important part of this game.
Zephyr uses himself to be able to dodge the X, but is still caught in a dead end. The Glimmer Cape is trying to protect him right now. In fact, they're going to use the Wukong's command. Zephyr not dead yet until the shotgun comes through, blasts off his head, but Makoto has been traded his life for it. This is still fine for Geek. They will certainly take that trade-off, especially as Carl looks to be able to chase down Kezcute. Thanks to the lit slow, it's going to be able to catch up to this Ancient Apparition. 1-2. Make it a third race, and you've got a kill on your hands. But Carl, his BKB is faded low. Now he tries to get off the ultimate, but he won't be able to do so. He chased too far.
He was so far from his team.
Trusted too much in his BKB, and his team wasn't able to back him up. They do have the cogs that pushes Dreamcell, but he's got the level 25. He's got the waveform charges. He'll catch up to Whitemon. He won't be able to catch Cuckoo, though. With the hook shot, he gets away. 3 for 1. Initially, it was 1 for 1. Where they traded Zephyr for the Kunkka, but
Makoto didn't get his BKB off either, right? In that fight, he just got blown up.
He did not.
Oh man, that is so rough. I really feel like this should be okay. I think at that point when Makoto dies, I think this should be Geek Fam's fight, and then the SF gets. I can't exaggerate how far away from his team he got. Oh, he got the last hit. They got the last hit on the Roche. But they got so far away.
Well done, Cuckoo. Does he have the level 20 talent?
What was the
for
that was the
damage?
third Roche,
I bet it was.
What was the drop, by the way?
It was a refresher, not Aghanims.
Okay. The Ags would have been real nice, I think, on like maybe AA or something. Timber. If you feel like you need more damage. We're gonna see right here, like Makoto.
He's caught.
Gets the initiation.
Okay.
All right, and
he
then
survives long enough that he gets into the Wukong's command. Boom. Trat Sep, Makoto, he's just going to get chain stunned and killed. Very nicely played out.
Gaze.
Yeah, gaze, hook shot, really well done there. Zephyr tries to go for a toss back, catches a creep instead, and now he's going to be catching a death here. He's going to be forced to buy back. The Rolling Thunder does actually nail the Monkey King, who is still in the trees. Dreamcell is going to use his long-range waveform to just skip over the command ring there.
Oh, man.
And he did not level it up just yet, so that's why it was only a regular circle. That's just going to be Elena Barracks if I don't really think they can take... Oh, okay, they're going to try. They might just be able to burst down Dreamcell. He's trying to morph into strength, and there goes that Satanic, healing himself back up the full. Carl's going to stand and fight where he can, but there's nothing they can do about this Morphling unless the gaze and the buybacks coming out. They do have the fear coming out. That's going to be able to control him, push them back into the cogs. The hook shot goes out as well. All these stuns played nicely by Geek Fam, but they didn't have the damage to follow it up. Dreamcell survives through it all, and that, by the way, was just life number 1. They struggled to be able to bring him down and still couldn't do it. How could they possibly manage to do it 2 times, this time with no ultimates? Maybe the Wukong's command can come back up soon. They do actually find a boundless strike. He gets a little bit low with a break mechanic on him. He jumps forward, tries to finish off the Monkey King, but a Glimmer Cape does protect him. Raven's going to be able to get enough time away to jump into the trees, but no! Shot down. Dreamcell finish him off. Tier 3 falling fast, and no buyback from the Monkey King.
Surely
dead for 2 minutes. This is a 3 versus 5. Surely no way out for Geek Fam anymore.
All right, this game though could have been won by Geek Fam. If Carl doesn't get as far as humanly possible, crosses like all sorts of borders.
That's a good ultimate there. It almost killed Dreamcell. They throw the Chain Frost, and that does take away the Aegis. Can they kill anybody else while he's still reviving? Cuckoo stuck inside of his own cogs right now as he's getting nailed by the Chakram, and Makoto swing after swing. It looked a little cool right in the middle of everybody, but at the end of the day, it does not do enough.
We're going to a Game 3.
Are going to a Game 3.
And I'm sure the panel's super excited about that. Yeet. But
the NA boys are dancing in their couches right now.
Yeah, just he locked on, and he was just thinking only about this AA kill.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to kill this 3K net worth Ancient Apparition, and...
Like, what did Kezcute do to them in a pub? They hated that guy.
Yeah, and he's just sitting back like, I don't care. Like, you guys lose your only way of initiating every single time. Congrats.
The only time it was worth it was the time they got a gem.
Yeah.
That was just
good.
a chase down at extra
Yeah, they were
kills.
going to kill him anyways.
I think every other death from Kezcute
They got a
he
trade.
could legitimately claim it was worth.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that game especially. So I think Boom should have won that game for sure at one point. Remember when I was like, okay, I think this game's over. They're going to win. And then they didn't give the cheese to Timber, and there was like this weird window of opportunity. Makoto dies without getting BKB off, which they did very well, by the way. Shoutouts to Geek Fam. Then Geek Fam, Carl he felt it. You know, he was feeling himself a little bit too hard. He's like, Makoto's dead. I cannot die. Oh, wait, I can die.
You know who else is feeling themselves right now, Blitz? Dakota and the boys. I know they're feeling themselves. What's up, boys?
Oh, yeah. Wait, don't look yet. I'm touching myself. So, okay, we are getting ready. Game number 2 was quite the roller coaster of a ride. You know, obviously, panel had it predicted for Geek Fam. It still looked that way in the early game. Then things quickly shifted for Boom. And then it back for Geek Fam. And then back to Boom again. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was interesting because it felt like Boom had better team fight this game, even though they didn't have better team fight heroes. They just executed their game way better. And I agree with what the casters said. Carl on that one overextension. You see 4 heroes chasing a Timber, and then Carl's just off by himself doing Shadow Fiend swagger stuff. And honestly, sometimes just a one death like that, right? You die once, that enabled them to get Roshan and whatnot, and then you just kind of snowball from there as well.
I thought this timing with the Diffusal Blade plus the Sinister Gaze mana burn.
Yeah.
I just
the mana burn.
The morph was useless.
That you just learned about.
I'm sorry. I really thought they were going to hit that window really hard in the mid game after coming out of the laning stage with the advantage, and we all expected them to have that advantage. The lanes went really well for them, and somehow it just didn't matter this game. Sup, Blitz?
Sup?
Looking good, buddy. Looking real good.
What up?
No, check out the replays.
What if he was just picking his nose? That'd be awesome.
That'd be hilarious.
Which he's doing now, but no. And then this was the weirdest one to me. Look at this. They run uphill, the smoke breaks. He blinked to a high ground with no vision. Literally 0 vision. That's never the correct play in Dota. I will say it now. Never the correct play in Dota.
Yeah,
that was
Southeast
actually the biggest
Asia,
change to me.
They love their swaggy risk plays, knowing that it's like, well, we have the momentum. If we move, if we catch, we can take control. But then those high risks or high rewards come with high risks potentially. And yeah.
And then this Morphling just ate you alive because, you know, that's the thing you also talk about, right? Who has the best late game hero? Who doesn't mind? And Morphling was clearly the best late game hero.
The reason I would say that the carry who has Ancient Apparition on his team will almost always scale better than the opponent carry because you both buy Satanics. One of you has an Ancient Apparition, and the other one doesn't. So for Morphling,
like
he
that.
gets gone on and he lives with 100 health. If he pushes Satanic, he's going to live. And
like we saw at that last fight, the top barracks.
On the other hand, if you get hit by that AA blast, you just have to retreat no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's... I'm not saying Monkey King outscales Morphling otherwise, but it definitely drastically shifts in favor of Morphling because of the Ancient Apparition. This SF went for this kind of mana build, and it just doesn't work very well once you get to this stage in the game. And Morphling played very well, I think, overall. Just made himself not only a threat, but also tanked so many spells, oftentimes using the cheese to get back to full. And a little bit of a weird cancel TP that time around by Kunkka, thinking, you know, hey, well, I guess we're in a decent spot. In this fight, but turns out the rest of my team doesn't want to be here either.
Is this the overextension now?
Yeah. Oh, no, this is the gem. This is the one good fight. This is, I think, where Blitz is like, yo, this is where they're going to turn it around. And then, then I think this is the fight where it's just, you just go too far. Like, what is the Tiny doing there? He has to run all the way. They do get the kill on the BK or the non-BKB Kunkka, but then the Shadow Fiend just kind of runs off by himself. And here's the part where I think they almost get Morphling, or it might be the next one, but
they commit really hard onto the Morphling.
Yeah, and they just could never bring him down. No, it was the next one.
Okay.
But I think no matter what, this Morphling was just pretty much uncounted. They had the Spear Vessel, but the Spear Vessel came after the Manta, I think, which you already have a way to take it off. Simple.
It's interesting that people seem to be taking Clockwork as a non-farming offlaner hero.
Yeah.
And trying to make him a farming hero. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of want to try it myself, but he went this like Ring of Tarrasque Bassi build, and then maxed Flare, and it's like,
so what are you doing?
What do you do until 9 or 10 where you have max battery assault? It's a little bit strange. I think people are trying to fit heroes that feel good and mold them into the meta. And I like watching that in this tournament. Are they 100% sure that build's supposed to work? I don't know, but little theory craft like that is the interesting part to me when new patches come out with different regions having different interpretations in an event like this. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
even if it didn't work.
Yeah, and then the drafts. The drafts. I've been liking both drafts in both games. Obviously, we miscalled it twice, but it feels like whoever wins that first team fight has just been doing a lot better. Like it feels like
Momentum.
I don't want to say it's just. And it's the first team fight, and they just keep going. There hasn't really been a comeback factor in this series yet. Yeah. So going into Game 3, that's my thing. Win the first team fight. Simple.
Yeah. Sounds like a cop-out for the predictions to be like, well, it's clearly not just the draft.
If they played better, if they played better, our predictions would be perfect.
Yeah. So,
Sure enough. All right, we'll see if you guys can finally get it right for game number 3. Let's head to a break. When we come back, Game 3 of Geek Fam versus Boom Esports.
We rise up from the dust and claim our throne.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Snix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
It is the kind of game where you kind of know you're going to win before it's even over. I was having a down day, and I decided to revisit some good memories. My name is Peter PPD Dager, and these are my moments of brilliance.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
You leave it to me. I'll get your taxes in an okay place.
What?
Well, just as soon as my audit is over. This gets my undivided attention.
Take a lot of trips to the islands, Phil.
Pretty great, right? Oh, Phil's legally dead. Fell off a boat. Going by Dennis now. Solari. Long story. Then we got, no, you're not gonna want to see this.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Just okay is not okay. AT&T has America's best network, now with our best plans at our best prices, starting at $35 a line for 4 lines, new from AT&T.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
I've been working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams out lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Tell me everything's alright. Life is just a bunch of phases, and if it's not, we'll still be fine. I know we're going places. I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Oh, I see the signs and I see we're there. And I feel the lies and I feel the sand. Forever who we are. No matter if we're cast away, a fire in the dark. I know that you won't be waiting again.
ESL One Los Angeles is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, AT&T, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and GG Bet.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to more ESL 1 LA online action. Unfortunately, ESL LA not able to happen, and what was once just a week of exciting Dota action has turned into nearly a month of Dota action. So,
4
weeks. Don't worry, it's not all bad. It's a lot of good as well.
It is.
And we're only in day number 3 of group stage
Slowly
action.
losing our minds. I mean,
Slowly.
enjoying Dota.
Yeah. Obviously, we had to revert our whole day and schedule to accommodate being able to witness such wonderful region action in Southeast Asia and, of course, then into South America, and then we'll get into North America later on. But we still have unfinished business here.
We
Grant,
do.
We have a game number 3 now between Geek Fam and Boom Esports. And, well, unfortunately, things haven't gone as we've expected here.
No.
But the players are making it exciting by changing it up.
They are. And I think, we're seeing – a lot of people were worried that, like, we saw Seb on Twitter mention, like, I hate this patch, I hate this death ball meta. But now that there's actually pro games being played, not just these pubs, we're seeing it isn't just one meta, right? We're seeing this Morphling go into the late game and win. We're seeing multiple heroes. We're not seeing Lycans, Beastmasters. The patch, honestly, isn't that bad for me. I don't know.
I really thought the change to the ban system would make more diversity in drafts.
Yeah.
I thought that was the first thing that would happen. I thought it would lead to more combos because you can't ban out the combos once you see them kind of hinted at.
Yeah.
Usually when you pick one hero, it has like 2 or 3 really good synergies with it. You used to kind of be able to block pick it, ban it, whatever. Now, as the game goes, or the draft goes on, it's like less exposed, so you have more ability to pick these cool combos that only work together with heroes that previously maybe weren't able to be fit into a draft because the heroes that synergize with them were either banned out or block picked or whatever.
Now, remind me again, did 7.25 drop just after Summit, or did Summit have 7.25 involved, like the whole buy Ring of Trask?
I'm pretty sure it dropped after the Summit.
Okay.
Because it dropped like supposedly what the second day of the major was gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I remember. I remember I was supposed to be at the major at the time, and I was like, oh, we get the patch like a week or 2 earlier than we normally would because the major wasn't happening.
So has it really even been a fair chance to assess this meta? If this is
Just
really
pub
the
games.
first,
It's just
pub
pubs.
games. So I mean, I guess like based on pubs, the meta feels, but we have yet to see really what the full, potential is of this meta.
Well, when a new patch that changes so much, like we talked about, I think this yesterday, is some heroes just benefit way more than others, and it's kind of hard to foresee that sometimes as like Ice Frog balancing the game. And so I think at the very start of big patches like this, it can just be way out of whack. Certain heroes can just be super unplayable against. Like you just don't, like they're just so, like 63% win rate Lycan or whatever it was.
Crazy.
So I think that could make a meta incredibly miserable, especially in pubs.
Yeah.
So maybe I think they've been doing a good job of tweaking it just the right way. We do have a Ricky first round banned almost every single game
in this series. Yeah.
Yeah, I think every single game in this series, and almost every single game in this region, it's been Ricky. It's been picked or banned. I thought Ricky was really good last patch, and then he was kind of getting picked, and then.
But not really.
Not really.
He really wasn't.
I think it's the synergy with the supports right now. I think Ricky Grimstroke is like the scariest freaking lane I've ever lane against myself. And if you think about it on paper, it's like, I'm going to position against a Blink Strike Inkswell. I'm going to use an ability to get away from it. And then he just blinks on you again, There's just nothing to do about it. So for people wondering about why Ricky's in the bans, you always see that in Twitch chat, right? Like, what the hell? I thought Ricky was only in my 2K pubs.
For pub players out there who are maybe trying to work their way up through MMR, would you say Ricky's still like a good pub option for them to pick up?
I think it's a lot about your support, though. I think your support has to represent a threat with you in lane.
Okay.
Like, you want to be able to blink on the guy, and his response has to be to run away.
Not stand and fight.
Yeah, not to just turn and hit you. So I think that's the definition of a really good Ricky lane. And if you have a good lane on the hero just snowballs so hard with that defusal early. So that's why it's just hard to play against, I think, is the main thing.
I like this too. The double respect ban from Geek Fam this time. You get rid of that Ember as well as the Morphling. We've seen Dreamacell has just been a beast on that hero for as long as he's played the game.
Yep.
But these 4 early round bans, where I'm seeing more and more that after game 1 or 2, the team is just like, I didn't like playing against that hero last game.
It feels
and
more.
Just one of the bans is just, nah, we're not losing the same thing again. I don't think I've ever really seen that as much as I have so far. Yeah, because you had to prioritize specific things, and that extra ban really does give you the liberty to do that.
Yeah, and then as you said, though, the next round of ban, you lose that liberty to, maybe ban the 2 good heroes. You can only ban 1 now, so it is. I don't know. Drafting's always been, it's one of those things, you either really love it or sometimes you're just like, just get me past. I want to watch the game. But I love, like, on a new patch, just what heroes are good, how does it work, how does it drafting? It's always
I definitely think there's people out there who appreciate it. It's a shame that pubs don't really get to engage in, like, the whole drafting aspect on that same level. Because I imagine it's like, I don't mean to jump game titles here, but like Path of Exile, people like to play just the path of building. Like, they just like to theory craft characters and build them out, but then not even play them. Yeah. Just be like, oh, I maximize the skill tree so that this is like an ideal build, but I don't even play it. It's like maybe they just like the strategy aspect of the drafting. Now, things are going to get through, though, with all those new bans, means that Nyx Assassin was able to get through, and he's the first pickup now for Boom. In response, Geek Fam nab up Rubik and Pangolier. This will be the 3rd straight game for Pango. This time it's on Geek Fam's side, though.
Yeah, they deny it from FBZ this time. He just controls team fights really good, and it's more of where they took the team fights. Every time it's near like a hill, and if it's near a hill, it means there's somewhere you can bounce in between and always permanent disable someone.
Last game, FBZ wasn't.
He wasn't. He was on
the-
Hyde. Yeah, it was Hyde. My bad.
I was about to say, I'm like, I don't think
Yeah.
he was playing it last game, but I liked this hero a lot at the start of the patch, and I still do. It is a hero that you have to figure out how to get out of the laning stage still. Yeah, the Ring of Tarask and overall sustain items really helped this hero specifically. Grimstroke's a pseudo counter to the Pangolier if you ever get the leash on him with his teammate. If you just ult him and he doesn't have a teammate nearby, it doesn't affect him at all. But the minute you get the leash on him, he just stands still in his role as well. Can't do anything. Very good against him for that reason. I like it with Nyx. The question is, we talked about, do we get the synergy with the Grimstroke ultimate? I still think this hero is all about the all about the Inkswell.
The laning phase now more than
the
combos.
They're gonna pick something like, I think Anti-Mage is a concern for Geek Fam, meaning that even if they don't necessarily end up picking it, you can't pick a lineup that just gives Anti-Mage a good game.
No.
Anti-Mage is kind of like Ricky, right? Instead of, it's the same idea. You blink on top of the guy once you're getting swelled. Really good at securing your own lane. It's setting up a very scary tri-lane potential for Boom, so I look at we really want like an independent offlaner and then a carry that can make use of these stuns that the supports are laying out there.
To go on about Grimstroke a little bit more, I know this is more of a luxury for him, but what about his Agnums? Has that become more of a, not necessity, but valuable tool for him, that it's something you actually consider as a build-up, or has it been very niche?
Very niche.
Very niche?
I think it is very good, but until, someone like the Puppy or Croakies do it, I really don't think. It really is. Dota is a kind of a copycat game, and until someone shows something's good, other people won't do it, right? Because you don't gain MMR by trying new things, as we've learned.
It
you
has
gain
to
it
be
by
a
doing
really
stuff.
good illusion.
Yeah.
Like it has to be like a Spectre or an Anti-Mage or a Terrorblade.
Yeah.
Something that, or a Naga that they banned out, but just some hero that the illusion itself is super potent. It used to be such a good item that you just bought it against whatever and just used it. But now it definitely has to be a huge threat on that illusion. But we see an Ogre. Okay.
Seen it once or twice already. Believe we saw it in Furia played it on Duster, and it looks like it will be the 5-position Ogre here as well.
Lifestealer kind of stands out to me for Boom, 4th pick. I don't usually like that hero all that much, but he is quite good against what we see so far.
Yeah, I mean, the support staff's already out there, which is how the drafting system typically works now, or at least teams are going to be favoring getting that support staff out early, so you can kind of start to mold a bit what you want to do with your cores. And, the support staff on the side of Geek Fam, I'm surprised you're able to pull out something like the Lifestealer so fast, because looking at the Rubik and the Ogre, it's great stuns, and good synergy, good setup, mobility, but it seems like there's always an answer for everything. Now the Darkseer, 3rd pickup. We did see a Darkseer yesterday as well, but these picks seem to be few and far between.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Darkseer Nyx is never a bad lane. That is scary. Or you can't really put Darkseer by himself anymore, right, with how bad Surge is at level 1?
Surge got buffed a lot.
It did, but it's still worse than it used to be,
You want
right?
to help him. Most of the time I see teams where they're cutting the creep wave with the 4. Like, meaning the 4 and Darkseer are like dual
together,
hitting the
or
wave.
even just do it before, they on the first wave, right?
Yeah,
I know
you can do that sometimes when
yeah.
you body block the creeps and Ion Shell and it kills the range. That's another option. I just think it doesn't really matter to Darkseer all that much. If he gets the super free early levels, he just needs to not be crippled.
Yeah.
I think people were kind of going all or nothing on him rather than just taking the secured route. I think if the 4 position just stays until Darkseer gets 3, then you leave.
Yeah.
The Ion Shell just is so much more powerful for Darkseer to do whatever he needs to do by himself.
Honestly,
at that point,
it's just nice having a Darkseer with the Grimstroke. You're almost always going to get your ulti off, which, as he said, maybe it's not the spells, the double spells, but it's the fact you lock 2 people in place together and make them commit to a fight. And with the Darkseer Grimstroke, that's scary. If 2 people get locked out together, they're just dead at that point.
Yeah, there's so many heroes that can free farm against the Darkseer.
Just undertowered. No, a lot, right? With the built-in Scout Shield now as well, you don't have to spend gold to do it, which is nice.
Just wonder which one they're going to choose here. You could go for the Juggernaut. I actually like Juggernaut a lot. Not something I see too often now, even though I see it a lot in pubs.
Yeah.
Just don't see it too much.
And why is it
here.
Juggernaut? Do you just like because he will be taking a lot of damage on the tower, and you do just have
They
to
just have
self-sustain?
absolutely no threat on a Jug from the offlane plus 2 supports.
Hey, we finally are getting him. Old Lycan, and that is a hero with a ton of self-regen as well, so doesn't care about the Iron Shell or the tower, and there's the Sven. All right, Grimstroke Sven.
And the Darkseer Sven.
Vacuum, stun,
Scary.
combo.
One of the best Surge heroes in the game for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Him and Nyx, right, or Lifestealer, because the one thing is they just need mobility, and it's hard to have it, but Darkseer makes it pretty
Yeah, I
easy.
definitely would never pick Lifestealer into Lycan, so you immediately have to pick some hero that cleaves and or like clears summons. You know, the other options are like Gyro, but you also want a melee hero that goes in because you have this Inkswell. Sven just makes sense as like the perfect pick here for them. It really is a very logical pick here. It just fits all the needs of their own lineup while also addressing the last pick of the Lycan. Do I believe in this hero? That's the question. You know, I think Sven, they've kind of tossed him back and forth on what his third spell does, the Warcry. It's back to the old armor for the entire team, as well as some damage.
I mean, that helps negate the Howl.
It's
Lycan,
really
for
good
sure.
against Lycan.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. The AoE armor is super nice against Lycan. We'll see. I've seen some Svens be real farmed and just not feel that impressive, but Lycan definitely gets kind of taken out of the game. It just makes it really hard for Lycan to ever fight. Once the game hits like 20 minutes, Lycan has a really hard time fighting you directly, so they usually result to some sort of split push dodge game. But we need a mid laner for Boom. I think you have a farmer, you have a team fight aura builder in the Darkseer, you have some stuns. I think we just need kind of this independent hero that doesn't rely on the Surge, doesn't rely on any of these things, because it's all going on the Sven.
All right. How do you feel about Void Spirit? Or is that, can a Lycan just run him down? Are you nervous about it? Because I like Void Spirit on Makoto. It feels like a him hero as well.
Yeah, I'm down for Void Spirit. I'm also down for something like a DK or something.
Oh, I was going to say DK. I thought it was going to be an awkward say, too, but I was like,
no, I
DK,
guess you're right, because it pressures
funky.
a tower, too. It forces a tower.
Well.
Yeah. I think you're right. DK does look good.
Timber's out, Razor's out. I'm just naming these heroes that are good against DK that you normally don't want to pick them against. I just don't imagine how Lycan ever fights into you if you have Sven DK.
And you have a natural Heaven's Halberd builder versus Lycan, which is nice. Both teams, I wouldn't doubt seeing Heaven's Halberd on both teams.
It's a lot of melee, but I don't think that's a problem for them now. I don't think there's a fifth pick for Geek Fam that could ruin everything. But yeah, nice call, Grant.
I think this was just Makoto, right? Maybe it was a DK for another team, but it's Makoto.
He
wants to
really
swag.
Makoto,
You have those mid laners, who I'm just gonna go hit a tower, but this boy wants to swag on you.
Yeah, he wants to throw curveballs, not just fastballs all day. He wants to throw curves.
Change up here, there.
Like I say, dribble the ball between the legs a little bit. It's not just pick and roll. He wants to have some fun.
He does.
But
overall last pick is what we have here. With what does Geek Fam take? You need someone who does well against Void Spirit middle.
Grant, you've been on a roll.
I have.
You got this, buddy.
But we only have 8 seconds. They used a lot of their reserve time early.
Good to match up against Sven later.
Silencer, even though it's bad because there's Nyx.
But the Void.
Oh my! Oh, so it's gonna be the middle?
No,
or middle
Pango.
Pango.
Mid Pango.
Mid Ogre, let's go. Oh.
It will be the mid Pango. Okay, I guess.
Wow.
I'm curious.
Pango in all positions.
I'm pretty sure Void Spirit's gonna free farm this game, and I'm pretty sure Sven in lane is pretty damn good versus Beastmaster. I am so nervous every time I see a Beastmaster in a lane that threatens to just kill him, and I think they're gonna look to do that, like rotate the Nyx bottom around level 2 or 3, and this Beastmaster's game is gonna be real rough. I'm just going to say Geek Fam because I've been wrong every time, so I'm just going to go with them.
Darn it. I was just going to say Geek Fam because it's so hard to bet against a Lycan Beastmaster for me. If you just lose the first 5 minutes of the game, you might lose every tower
one of
by
us
15
is going to be
minutes.
right, Grant.
You're saying it ironically, and you're saying it seriously.
I'm saying I think Geek Fam will win correctly.
Okay, so one of us is going to be right this time.
Yes.
I'm calling Boom. That's the safe play, Grant. I like it.
All right, fair enough. So one for Boom, one for Geek Fam. Should be an exciting matchup to get into. Our third game before we head over to South America. So let's head over now to our casting booth where we have none other than the illustrious Capitalist and Blitz.
I hate to break it to you, Brian, but as a long-standing panelist, let me just say, if you have to go for the well, one of us is going to be right, so I'm going to take this team. It means you've already lost. You're already wrong. Grant still has a chance to be right. And we'll see if the viewers, you guys at home, are right, as we see the odds are going to be backing Geek Fam.
Geek Fam
Takes me a
lost
moment.
the first or second game, right?
Yeah. People are apparently still feeling it. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of passionate fans behind Geek Fam.
Yeah. They've got the fam. Their name has it.
Yeah. You guys are part of the fam.
Yeah, you guys are part of the fam. That's shady. I don't like that. They're abusing.
And then, well, how do you feel about it? How do you feel draft-wise? Because I have my own reservations, but I want to get the professional analyst's thoughts first.
Okay, I actually think I like Geek Fam's lineup, but there is one thing I dislike about it. I think they have too much single target.
Yeah.
I think if
like if you could replace that ogre.
Yeah, whereas I don't think Boom has enough single target. Like they both suffer from like the opposite problems.
Yes.
Which is funny enough.
No, I agree with that.
Because single target is like usually just stuns. Like you have stuns, whereas like they're easy to land stuns. Really, it just like comes down to Sven. But I actually think Beastmaster's fine against Sven Grim. I think Beastmaster. I mean, Brian probably knows this better than I do. I don't really play Beastmaster, but if I have to think about it, I'd imagine the lanes that Beastmaster likes playing against are the ones that he can't immediately get bursted. And Sven's stun is annoying for sure, but I don't think he's going to max stun. And I think he's just going to be able to harass with Boar on the Grimstroke, is my gut feeling. And then I feel Rubik just spams out W, and what do you do?
That part is really important. The Boar on Grimstroke.
Yeah.
Not in the lane, because that part is really annoying on level 1 Boar, keeping it alive against Khalif.
Yeah, agreed. But what were your thoughts, since you said you had some
I wasn't a
suspicions?
big fan of their last pick, Void Spirit.
Okay.
Like, I know Makoto's probably just feeling it right now, but just initially, like, I could say I don't like playing that hero against Lycan.
I will say Void Spirit versus Pango feels really nice lane-wise. Oh, and they're going to kill Ogre. Yeah, I I generally just don't like Ogre as a hero. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Always feel like he could be replaced.
You're talking about, like, how they don't have enough singles target? Well, like, one of their single target abilities is Ether Remnant. You'll never hit it on Lycan.
Yeah.
He's got way too much stuff.
For sure.
It's
I think Void Spirit feels really nice to play against Pango.
Yeah, that's true.
I just played that matchup recently, actually, like
Yep.
1v1 mid, and I think I solo killed the Pango like twice.
Yeah, but your MMR is somehow underinflated to a point where you're smashing 5K.
No. He was like top 400.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the lane was fine.
All right. Well, that doesn't. That's not the same as Carl.
Yeah, but right now I'm looking right.
Yeah, that's true. 10-0 compared to 6-0 in the mid lane. No, you're right. I do hate playing, as a general concept, I hate playing Pango against
Yeah,
Void Spirit
because your
as well.
windup makes it really easy for Aether Remnant to hit too.
Yeah. Brian made really good analysis of that last game, where he said it was a free Pango game in the fact that there was nothing really to threaten you from getting off Rolling Thunder.
While your roll is starting.
I want to be able to swashbuckle and reliably Rolling Thunder. I don't want to have to, like, Rolling Thunder from a distance and roll in because I'm afraid of whatever, instant cast abilities they have.
I'll say the worst thing about this Pango is that it's really hard to play against Grimstroke. There is a counter to it, though. If you get Blink and you just don't play next to your team, and you play from behind, that's what Ice did, which I thought was really smart.
And Grimstroke is still very susceptible to, like, he has no escape mechanism in that regard. He is just all offense, no defense. So once you do get on top of him, he's a relatively easy hero to burst. You just
My
have
man's
to
died in
beware
like 2
of that
seconds.
team fight.
So who would you back if I had to, like, gun to your head, choose one?
I would back Geek Fam.
I think so too.
Because I don't believe in the last pick Void Spirit a ton, though. To be honest, like, I didn't even know what his mid matchup was. I didn't even think about that part.
I think the mid matchup matters for a player like Makoto.
For sure.
You're 10k MMR, like you're a pub grinder. You want to. He's 0 for 2 in Remnants though.
And his impact in last series compared to this series is very different.
Yeah.
I think it was very astute analysis saying that, like, he needs to be ahead.
I think all these, like, a lot of the 10K players anyways, I don't want to say all, but, you know, they're just used to, like, being in this pub atmosphere where they snowball a win off of having a really good laning phase.
Right.
But Lycan's going to free farm. Darkseer's going to free farm.
Sven is not free farming.
Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to just shit on Brian again. It feels like I'm doing that. I feel really bad, Brian. But I was like,
we said good things about Brian.
Mm-hmm. But when he was like, Grimstroke Sven is going to bomb on this lane, I was like, really? I don't think so.
Well, who did just get bombed? That's Whitemon. Whitemon gets the kill on Hyde, but he died before it, so.
You know what Beastmaster really hates? When he's playing against, like, a third hero like a Shaker or a Tusk.
Yeah.
And you go up there, because this hero, unless you try and lane him, for the most part, in 2-on-2 matchups, he has good lanes.
Yeah.
Boar is like the ultimate equalizer. So that means he usually gets over-leveled and over-farmed. Because he just has good stats. Like, you're never sad about, in pub games, about seeing a BM on your team.
Yeah.
Although he is doing some weird stuff right now. He's deciding to fight.
Maybe he's going to get bopped here. Kezcute is out of mana, though, so we won't be able to give the Inkswell, which he had 2 levels of, over Dream of
Surprised that he decided to fight there. Like, I think his Cuckoo's lane was fine, and then he just decided to 1v1 right-click this
Yeah,
end.
you've got a big wave coming in.
Yeah.
Don't risk that, ever. And don't ever risk the big wave pushing
That's
into
like
your
3
tower.
waves.
Yeah.
I'm sure Zephyr would be happy with it. Low key as like a 4 position, when like your offlaner dies with a big wave, you're like, damn man, really sucks.
Oh yeah. When I duo queued with Insania, we were gonna snipe you guys.
When was that?
He said he loved you. He was like you and Tiger or Boxy were gonna play together, and it was gonna be me and Insania. And I'm quite certain he was very complimentary of me. He said, "Oh, I love laning with you. You just go in." I'm pretty sure he only said that because I would go in and die, and then he would get farmed. I'm pretty sure he only said it because of that.
Was this a while back?
No, this was like a week or 2 ago.
Oh, really? Did you guys end up sniping? No, you didn't.
No, you guys didn't end up. Actually, it might have been before the summit. You were still in Europe.
Okay, yeah, then it was before the summit.
Yeah.
He was trying to snipe me? That's messed up. You know, ever since I became his coach, we never play together anymore. Because
yeah,
before...
you guys spend too much time together, maybe?
Yeah, and it's like before in the past, it'd be like, yeah, you can just blow off, like, playing real solo queue games. And now I'm just like, you got to play solo queue games, dude. Oh.
Dude, you got to try hard. Zephyr, he's being try-harded right now.
All right.
They have the rotation from Boom. I was waiting for this.
Yeah, he needs to
I
come
liked
up here.
your call of the tri-lane.
You have to tri-lane Beastmaster.
When's the next assassin going to show up? Well, he finally does. He doesn't kill the Beastmaster, though. And Zephyr's death does create space.
Oh, boy.
Does leave FBZ all alone in bottom lane with Lycan hitting level 6.
He's got Necro 1 already.
Yeah.
This game is going to be...
He's going to be really farmed. That is a big 1v1 kill, though. Makoto.
Yeah, I was so... I was like, dog, I'm like 3K. If I'm solo killing... If I'm solo killing Pangos that are good, then I have to imagine, like, if the skill difference is, like, even... It has to be favorable to Void Spirit.
Yeah.
This is like almost exactly what ended up happening in my matchup. By the way, I just hit 6 and I killed the Pango.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, right? You say it's a problem when your swashbuckle doesn't get you far enough away.
Yes, because at that point, once you commit the swashbuckle, Void Spirit doesn't care that you're a little bit further away. His first Q or his first jump is going to hit you anyways, and then he just gets on top of you and he can tank your physical. He doesn't really care about your swashbuckle damage either.
Yeah.
So you just straight up die. I like this move though. They're going to bring up 4 heroes. Like we said, Beastmaster gets fat naturally. Like he gets an unnatural amount of levels in XP out of all offlaners. So you have the classic problem where, it's kind of like playing Timbersaw, where you feel like you're so strong and nothing can kill you. So then everything begins to kill you.
And you're just kind of like a walking meat bag.
Yeah. Because you're... Like, normally, if that's a level 2 beast offlaner, do you really care about dying there? Probably not.
No.
But you're level 5. At a reasonable time, too. Very reasonable time. What level is Darkseer?
Darkseer is level 6.
Oh, man. This guy's even more farmed. But then again, it's like Ogre Lycan.
Yeah. It's a very free lane.
Yeah.
Until Lycan hits level 6, there's no offensive threat whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So FBZ has been able to get a good amount of farm, as you can see, reflected in his CS, 52-0, compared to Lycan in lane, 58-0.
I actually think you have to ignore that first death on FBZ.
Yeah, for
and just
sure.
say, like, screw it. Like, it happens, but you have to still play the same way.
Yeah. He used Shapeshift. Like, if he's using Shapeshift and it's not to